All right, I'm here at the North American Cup Series final event in Kanata, hosted by Altitude Gym, and I am with Christiane Marceau, the Executive Director of Climbing Escalade Canada. We're finally crawling out of the pandemic, and so we're starting to see you at some competitions finally. I know you were in Richmond for the Richmond NACS, and it sounds like you were there even for the route setting days. Tell me about that experience, and again, you come from outside climbing for the most part, so tell me kind of what you've learned and what you've been impressed by, or maybe what's turned you off a little bit now that you've witnessed the sausage being made.
Yeah, so basically, starting in January of 2020, I haven't really experienced comps, or I've been to 3 of them, but I was so overwhelmed with what's happening, not knowing how it works. So in Richmond, I got there the Monday, first day of route setting, and even the route setters were surprised to see me there, because I really want to understand and experience how a comp works from A to Z, so that I can witness those little tweaks that we can do, little things often here and there that could make the overall better. I think in Richmond, some of my biggest experience is, I think the role of the route setter was the biggest hit for me. You hear a lot how hard it is, that it's a lot of work, that it's an underrated job, but seeing it from beginning to end, you're like, oh yeah, it is. They do a lot more than I thought, and it's really hard. It's really hard, really challenging. So I think that leads me to maybe look at what can we do in terms of education of route setters, better pathway, how to get into the role and progress into that role. So I think that was my biggest takeaway from Richmond.
Cool. So now the comps are running again, and something that was new to me was the night before this competition, I saw on my YouTube feed all of a sudden there were preview videos for the boulders of this competition. Yep. And so that combined with using this kind of scramble or modified scramble format, some people might think of it as a red point format depending on where you're from. Mm-hmm. It's something we're seeing more of. We're seeing the IFSC fiddle with it. They used it apparently at Youth World Championships. Some provinces have been using it for quite a long time in Canada for qualifiers. And I understand that it can save a lot of time, resource-wise, it's not as intensive. But it does have some trade-offs, and so a lot of what I've been hearing is, route setters really enjoyed getting to set a wider spread of problems and at a harder difficulty because they get to, really work these problems. But the athletes, a lot of them were somewhat skeptical, particularly in the busy men's round. Can you give me some of the feedback that you've been hearing and where you think it should fall on that spectrum of demands and wants from the athletes to the administration?
Yeah, it was interesting to see that format run for the first time. When it comes to the athletes' feedback, one of the things I've noticed too is that in Canada in general and in sport in general, we're very weak on the mental level. We're very strong athletes, but as soon as we get thrown off our game, we lose all capacity. We don't bounce back for that. So I thought the scramble format yesterday kind of brought up that from the athletes. They were out of their comfort zone, and their reaction was, well, I don't like it because I'm not in what I do best or what I know. And as you mentioned, the IFSC is looking into it. The North American Cup is going to use the scramble format. Our nationals are going to move to scramble format as well in some cases, just to allow for more participation. So it's good to experience and get thrown out of your game and have to bounce it for it. So I think that was the good takeaway in terms of, there's pros and cons to any format. We just need to be innovative and open to trying different things as well. On a post-COVID era, we want more people to be involved. It's been 2 years. We miss it. We want to be there. So why not make it a celebration of sport and bring as many people as we can into our national as well? And the scramble does allow for that.
The Olympics are now over.
Yes.
World Championships are over. Youth World Championships are over. The whole 2020, 2021 thing is over. Does it feel like a reset for yourself where you now have the opportunity to actually look forward into a longer Olympic cycle? Like, kind of what's on your mind? What are you thinking about now that those big things are done and you can maybe take a chance to reevaluate where yourself and the CEC is at?
Well, I wish we had more time and a longer cycle, but Paris is 2 years away. So when you think about it, the first qualification events for Paris in August 2023. It's not that far off. We're too late already. So we need to really speed up our development. We did work a lot on the new high performance program for 2024 and 2028 because it's not confirmed from Los Angeles, but we very confident that will be included as well. So starting in the spring of 2020, in basically February and March, we'll start putting some building blocks toward Paris and LA. Things like national boulder and lead coach, national speed coach, separate positions, national training center. We're going to run a pilot for the next 2 years with the Richmond Oval. So we are going to start putting more of those high performance pilers that will bring our program a little higher up in 22 and a little higher up in 2023. So we're going to go progressively to Paris, and then hopefully we'll have, like you said, a longer time to plan for LA, but starting today. We cannot wait to start in 2024. Yeah.
To wrap this up, everybody's kind of getting back on their feet after this big break, particularly in Ontario where the lockdowns kind of hit us longer.
Yeah.
Do you have any messages to the PSOs or to the gyms, to the parents, volunteers, or athletes about what you think the community really needs right now from everybody to help us get back to a strong position?
Well, I'd say again, probably just not just in climbing, but overall, give ourselves a break. It's been tough. It's been really tough for everybody, and everybody has experienced the pandemic different way. Some of you had access to climbing gyms, some others did not. Some of athletes took breaks, some others did not. And even on their personal lives, some people lost their jobs and lost family members. It was tough, and it's not over. So I think all of us collectively, we need to give ourselves a break and support each other and be more open-minded into what the new normal could look like, because we're not going to go back to what things were before. So scramble format, we're going to see more different things, different innovations, and we just need to be flexible and ready to adapt. But kudos to everybody that's coming back. It's nice to see everybody back. Not that I knew you before, but I'm happy to meet everybody now. But seeing the resilience in our athletes and the community coming back together, it's very inspiring.
Well, thank you very much for the time, and I'll let you go back to watching semifinals.
Awesome.
Thanks a lot,
Thanks,
Christiane.
Simon.